Kissoon Show. Bring it!
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, to an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is their
right.
Unlike the right that someone has, all of our rights exist in context.
What is the context of a second medical opinion?
Because you disrespected the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem to do, you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a future, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Hi there. Pleasant Monday evening to you. As you can see next to me is my co-host for the past year, Leonard Craig. One hopes that as Craig moves on into higher public service and into politics, we don't lose his presence. It's always good to have people on the program co-hosting it that can present plausible and competent analyses. Once again, thanks for being with us this Monday evening. We're coming to you live from the Daybreak News studio in Looney Street in Queenstown. This is the Monday edition call-in. The numbers on the screen, 676-3681. Once again, wherever you are, good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Normally, as you know, we do our introductory thing, but the phone calls take precedent. I'd like to show you my Chronicle column today. Just keep it a little bit on the screen there. It's called Incredible Ignorance Part 1, David Hines. Part 2 is coming up on Norton. Now let me tell you what this column is about. It looks at what David Hines has said about how Africans voted. And I have concluded that it's African Guyanese activists, African Guyanese intellectuals like James Bond, Leonard Craig, that have to confront the African people in Guyana about David Hines. It's up to them to do it. Now, let me tell you what this column is about. You know what David Hines did? And this is the barefaced, morbid willingness to fool people that you say that you support and that whose interests you look after. The election results showed that the PPP held its own in its constituencies. There was no huge, not even significant movement of PPP supporters over the past 60 years away from the PPP. You had that in 2011 and some of that in 2015. So in the 2025 election, the PPP held its ground. There was a massive, gargantuan, prodigious, Herculean movement of African Guyanese away from the PNC. And they went to a party named WIN. And there were significant votes in Region 4 of African Guyanese to the PPP. Now, you could know, go on GCOM's website, and you could know how African villages, Amerindian villages, Indian villages vote. You could know that. It's not rocket science. 97% of the people who live in Den Amstel are African Guyanese, maybe 99%. 99% of the people who have made Buxton their home and live in Buxton are Africans. 99% of the people who live in Port Morant, in Bath Settlement, are Indians. Likewise in Laluni up the highway, 98% of the people who live there are Amerindians. So when you look at the statement of polls from GCOM, you could tell how the people of Port Morant voted. So in those statements of polls, it shows there were an incredible abandonment of African Guyanese from the PNC. They have been devastated to 18% of the vote. But you know what? You know what David Hines did? Set out to mislead African people. I looked at this thing and I said to this man, it's people like Craig and Bond and the rest of the African people that have to say to him, not in our name. He said African Guyanese did not vote across racial lines. They stuck with their own because WIN is an African party. It is just headed by an Indian man. Could you imagine the absurdity in that? WIN is a one-man show dominated by Azzuddin Mohammed and his money, and it's a one-man show. He dictates everything. You know the name Darwin Bess, who was part of Amanza Walton Desert Party Forward Guyana. Bess said Azzuddin called him to be part of WIN. And when Bess said, well, it's going to be a coalition, Azzuddin said, no, you lose your identity in WIN. There'll be no Darwin Bess v. Pakpa. Nobody knows who was the prime ministerial candidate until almost before the voting, because he decided that his money goes into WIN. His sister was the campaign manager dictating things. How come WIN is an African party? But guess why David Hines said that? This is my column about it. David Hines said that to fool Guyanese, to fool African Guyanese. Don't worry, this election we stuck with our own and England stuck with the PPP. And he was lying because the statements of Paul showed in Pleasance, up we not lost vote, which is his constituency. So he manipulates African people by saying, you don't have nothing to fear. There was an African party called the PNC. They didn't vote for them this time, but they vote for their own. That's what that man said. That is what that man said. I listened to him. And he went so barefaced by saying, I never heard no ignorance like this before. It's wrong with people. WIN is an African party. It just has an Indian head. Now the second thing he did, I listened to his interview. You know what this man said? This man spent an hour. This man spent an hour talking about the PPP rigging the elections. And then multiple times the man said, you know,
rigging the 2025
election. You know what this man said? For hours saying that the PNC rigged the election, PPP rigged the election, the man went on to say, you know, they're saying Norton must resign. Why Jack Dio didn't resign? Billions spent in the campaign. He led the campaign and the PPP did poorly. And he went on, you know, what people saying, what people talking about the PPP victory, and the PPP did poorly. Now common sense could tell you, how would he know that if they rigged the elections? You cannot know how a party did if they rig it, because this real statistics are obliterated from the rigging. Common sense. Xanadu village or Porknocker Village has 1,000 voters. The polling clerk manipulate the thing and give the Purple Party 980 votes. How can you say that the Purple Party came in poorly? You can't say that. You have no scientific basis for that, because when you look at the statements of poll, they got 980 votes out of 1,000. Now, if the PPP rigged the elections, how could they do poorly? It's a contradiction. It's like saying you got out the fire by throwing gasoline in it. It's a contradiction. You can't out the fire by throwing gasoline. Then Aubrey Norton, well, I'll come to that. That's my column. Aubrey Norton said 3 times, I listened to him in the interview, there was widespread rejection of the PPP in this election. He said it 3 times in his interview with Swelana Marshall. And then the man went on to say they rigged the election. All the time he kept saying that, and he said they were unscrupulous when they're rigging. I will hand over to Craig. But it is a scientific impossibility for a group of people to sit around a table here, decide to fictitious ballots in area B, C, D, took out the real ballots, and then when the results are shown, the big results for the Purple Party. If you rig the election for the Purple Party, A, how could they do poorly according to David Hines? B, how could there be widespread rejection? You cannot determine that scientifically. You got to go by what the statement of poll said. This is the kind of things African Guyanese people are facing for people who say they speak in their name. You know, look, if you're a PNC supporter, look at that Aubrey Norton interview in which he blamed everybody. Said from the time he became leader, people started to undermine him. And he's not saying that he undermined the PNC and undermined himself. The phone lines are open. Over to Leonard.
Good night, viewers. Just to make a quick comment on what you said. I don't want to comment on the contents per se of the gentleman own interviews that they did recently, except to say that I have said over and over on this program, written in my column and so on, that if they continue, I would have thought that these guys would have had some amount of self-reflection. They would have first softened their tones and then take a new direction, because the tone that they have now is the same tone that drove them from 200 and something thousand votes to 70 something thousand. Just imagine that. That was your line in the prior to the election. That was your sermon during the election, and it brought you a reduction of votes from 200,000 plus to 70 something thousand. One would have thought that, you know, you then change something about your message. But good evening, you're on to the program.
Hello, Big Man Rex Bill. You're going to piss and catch your beard.
Hi. So, if you will continue, if they will continue along the trajectory, the PNC will dwindle further. People have already signaled in so huge and colossal ways that that is not the message that resonates with them, right? They have already signaled that. Then the onus is on you to see how you could amend your message. And if it continues like that, I don't know. I'm just sorry that the PNC will just dwindle and die. They're gonna move from 12 seats, and then they're gonna battle with 5, and then
they're gone.
And because of what I would term pig-headedness. Hey, good evening.
Hello?
It's connecting. The person probably got connection issue. That was a WhatsApp call. Hey, good evening. You're onto the program.
Pleasant good evening to you and your co-host.
Good evening, sir.
Just two contributions on your program. The first one has to do with the GCOM issue. I believe some analysts, including yourself and Freddie, are being unfair to the structure of the GCOM commissions. When the commissioner have been appointed constitutionally, they're not being appointed for a party. The party recommend them, and the president appoints them. It's a constitutional post. It's not a post. They're not going there to represent PPP or PNC. They're going there because I show when they go in, they have to swear to uphold the constitution and so forth and so forth. Our constitutional post in this country is not to represent a side or a people. They're going there to uphold the constitution. Now, when they go in, like the GCOM commissioners, a judge or some other things, the constitution determines the way you must be removed. It's not every time a opposition leader change, or not every time a president change, the person has to change. It is a constitutional determined how the person has to be removed. When you appoint them, not because you had a new president or a new opposition leader, then the person has to remove. This is not the way it is being done. And also, they call for the opposition leader to move the 3 opposition nominated commissioners. It should go for the chairperson as well, if they want to be fair, because the opposition leader is the person who nominates the list to the president, and then the president pick one. So if you're going to use the same yardstick that because the opposition leader changed, the 3 nominated by the opposition commission must move, then you have to include the chairperson in the same bracket, because it is the opposition leader who nominates the chairperson, and then the president appoints her. Moving on to the next point, the submitted of the PNC at the shown at the last election. First of all, I must say that this last election to me has been the most abuse of state resources. The refusal to, and I think the opposition leader have to have themselves to blame, because for them to go into an election without the census report, you're going to spend a whole set of money, billions of dollars, to do a census report, and you're going to sit back and allow the government to not release that report. Whatever happened to them, probably they look for it, because that report had to come out before the election so that everybody will know the status of the population in this country and the demographics and so forth.
How would that census report help?
You will know the real count of the country. You will know the real population. Right now we don't know the real population in this country.
But what that has to do with people? What that has to do with people voting? We had observers
because the voters list numbers is not right. You would match it up with the voters list numbers, and you would really know what is the real numbers of the country, the real population.
And that's the only.
I don't see people arguing to keep the census report a secret.
And that is the only reason for the census. with respect to the election?
No, the census have a lot of purposes. It have a lot of reasons. It have a lot of uses. Plenty uses the census have.
No, with respect to the election.
One of the main uses the census will give you, it will give you the real population of the nation.
Okay.
The real population. The GCOM list, the GCOM numbers, the GCOM, the voters list is not a real number of this country right now.
Okay.
But also the cash drug registration information that was being used by the state, I think was totally uncalled for. If they was using this cash drug report for the election, they should have given the information to the other parties. Not just there is not a PVP thing. There's a state information.
When you're ready to leave, please tell me. I have something to tell you.
All right, okay. And finally, the PNC has to be very careful, because I think there is a plan to denigrate them even more than the election, because they're using people who are vets or disenchanted, like the two that come on this program. For example, they should get rid of those two people that come on this program right away. Don't wait for them, damage them more. Elson Lowe and who's the other fellow? Elson Lowe and the farmer mayor. Elson Lowe and the farmer mayor. Don't wait for the damage them more. I told you the previous rest damaged them. The signs are already there. They are changing right now. So they should get rid of them one time. Thank you. That's the contribution.
Yeah, just stay on the line. Hello?
Yes, sir.
You're on the line?
Yes, sir.
The leader of the PNC said the election showed widespread rejection of the PPP, the 2025 election. David Hines said the PPP did poorly. Now, don't take my word for it. You go on YouTube and you look at David Hines' interview, and you look at Opie Norton interview with a lady named Svedfana Marshall.
I saw the interview on Standard.
And the Starbuck News did a huge editorial showing where all the things that the PPP did, money to give away, roads to build, it didn't help them in the elections. You believe those three things?
Yes, because they have the same numbers.
So you believe
they have the same numbers.
So you believe that
the numbers of the PP.
You let me finish. You let me finish. You believe there was widespread rejection. You believe the PPP did poorly. You believe the Starbuck editorial. Now, how do you square that with your opening statement, abuse of state resources? Where did the state resources, the abuse of the state resources led to? Not me saying that. Norton saying that the PPP was rejected. Hines saying they did poorly. Anti-government newspaper Starbuck said all the money they pour out, it didn't help them. So what's this thing about? I'm going to end on that note. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It helped them. It helped them to retain power.
All right. Have a good night. You see, that message that this gentleman just brought is exactly what got Norton where he is.
Yeah.
That somebody says something that is not to your liking, just get rid of them, or what Norton has been doing. If Norton didn't outrightly get rid of them couldn't, he just ignored.
But the people listening to him, right, probably would say, look, who hung with him? Why shouldn't Law say what? In other words, he is saying Law's a nobody, Norton is somebody. So don't give. Look, you got we're glad people are saying these things. So
good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Is the only election you could speak about, or you could speak about something else?
Anything, sir.
All right. I'm calling on behalf of my brother. He's in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he worked at Guyana National Painters from 1969 to 1978. and he's trying to apply for it, NIS, the money from NIS. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, 1969, he had 53 contribution. 1970, 52
He can't have. He
contribution.
can't. No, sir. That's inaccurate. He can't have that. He can't have that contribution in 1969. You didn't have the NIS in 1969. He could not have been paying NIS in 1969. The NIS
But
came.
that is what NIS gave him a copy of.
No, NIS cannot give him a copy. NIS would have no record of who paid NIS in 69 because there was no NIS in 1969. Unless you want to believe that, and your brother believe that. As simple as that, sir. NIS was started in 1973.
73.
Yes, he can't have.
But let me continue.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. He got it 71, 53, 72, 52, 73, 52, 74, 32, 75, 52, 76, 52, 77, 30.
Yeah, and your point is it add up to
78, 18.
it add up to
No,
750.
It add up to 466.
Well, he can't get NIS. He's way
No,
below.
but the point is,
Yeah.
the point is that I'm making 74 have a difference. I said only 32 contributions, 74, and 78 only 18 contribution he made. And he getting a problem because it's over 500 is supposed to get some sort of cash, right?
Right. There is a one-off grant that is available.
grant.
Yeah.
So they want to know what happened to the rest of contribution from in 74 and 78 because they're shorting.
All right. So hear this. There are some other investigations I'm doing on behalf of people. I thought it would have been completed by today so I could give a feedback, but it has not been. But it's actively going on, and I'm getting the information put together. If you send me a WhatsApp message, complete with all the information, name, date of birth, NIS number, and wherever your complaint is, I will have it directly dealt with and then reply to you what is the result.
Okay.
Right? Please don't try to call me with the information. I might not have the time to sit down at the phone and go through it with you. But if you,
to the same number?
yes, WhatsApp the information completely, full information, and I will give it to the officers investigating the other matters, and everybody will get a response shortly.
Okay, because as Mr. Kissoon, he's listening right now, you know, he's there in New York listening and watching the program. Because Mr. Kissoon is saying that NIS, that they had NIS 69.
No, they didn't have NIS in 1969.
Well, I am not sure when it started. I remember
It started
NIS,
in the 70s.
I remember when NIS was celebrating its anniversary in, I think it started in the month of September or October. One of those late months in the year. I could remember the anniversary, but I can't remember what year it started. But all right, I'll have your information checked out once you send it to me.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Thank
Maybe
you.
tomorrow or the next day.
Thank you for coming through.
Okay, Mr. Craig.
Yeah, just to wrap up the thought that I
The
had.
man saying, don't let that solo come on the program.
Yeah. So not don't let him come on the program is that Norton should respond by getting rid of them.
Yeah.
My thing is this, is that our politics got to go to a discursive level. In that you might be angered or not, you don't like what Elson Lowe said, that's the time to take Elson Lowe in a room, lock the door, and trash out what you got to trash out with Elson Lowe. And if you can't reconcile, then you might say Elson is best we part ways. But just because somebody gave a comment that you consider to be adverse doesn't mean that the person don't love the party and they can't give solid contribution in the future.
But the ignorance of that man who called, in which Elson Lowe said, I am the treasurer, I am part of this committee, and I didn't know how the 12 parliamentarians were selected. That alone is the basis for Norton to leave.
Elson Lowe is part of an inner committee, not the larger executive committee, you know. Good evening, you're onto the program.
Hi, good evening to you, gentlemen. Notice you. I mean, now that the election and everything is over, have you any idea, like, when you guys will start holding a program where people could call in and share their views on what they would like to see the government do?
No, you can do that right now, sir. You could do that right now.
This program is for you to talk on anything. You can talk on anything.
Okay. Well, now that the election and everything is over, I would really like to see the government, more so the Ministry of Home Affairs, do something about the traffic. And I don't mean the parking. Like, there's a lot of places in Georgetown where they had spent money to put up traffic lights. Now that the traffic lights are not working, I don't know, Craig, if you drive, but I know for sure Mr. Freddie drives. And sometimes you go to a corner and nobody wants to be, courtesy and allow somebody else to pass. So I was wondering if the plan is here to put traffic warden in the streets for now. I'll give you a typical example. You go tomorrow anytime after 10:11, right by the High Court, Kroll on Avenue the Republic, break down on High Street, and you see nobody there helping to balance the flow of traffic. I know we have a new minister, and I know she's just now into the job, but I think some of these things they need to look at. And, hey, they could help if people be there just to keep the flow. Because you really need it. Because I just saw today when I was driving the new series PAM, and today is Monday, and they're down there 900 and something.
Not PAN, PAM.
Yeah, PAM, PAM.
Yeah.
No,
PAM.
He said N, it's PAM. Then reach the N, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
But maybe I'm trying to tell you by 10 hours of Christmas, you may have PAM.
Yeah.
So they made that. I mean, there is plans to put traffic lights, Mr. Freddie, you know that. There used to be a traffic light by the Bank of Guyana, but there is none. Where there is no traffic light working, let us put the traffic warden to help balance the flow of traffic. Gentlemen, please keep up the good work that you have been doing for the longest while, and I know your program will continue to grow and get more interested. Both men again, have a nice evening.
Thank you for coming through, sir. Yeah. I know we getting thing with other topics, but just to close off this topic here, if you go through the history of Norton since becoming leader, good evening.
Topic here.
Please turn your smart device down.
I did. Good night, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'm a little under the weather, but I hope you guys are hearing me clearly.
Yeah, surely.
I would just like to raise a concern I have about something that has become quite noticeable among teachers in schools, particularly the trainee teachers and the senior teachers. I've gotten a number of calls and complaints from trainee teachers and even from some teachers who have been around in the system for a couple of years, and they're talking about just the way they're being treated in these schools, particularly by, you know, the senior folks in the school. And many of them find it so incredibly difficult to get up and go every day. They do it, but, you know, at the back of their mind is, how am I going to be treated today? One such incident that seems to be occurring quite frequently is, you know, the lack of information and guidance given to a trainee teacher when he or she is asked to do something. Sometimes you get half information, and when you perform the task, and the task is a reflection of the poor information that you got, you have to go back and do it, and then there's a whole lot of, you know, bickering about it. And these things can't really be proven. That is unfortunate. These teachers, the trainees in particular, are just voicing their frustration. And, you know, some people are saying that they should go and complain to their regional offices. But, you know, when you ask these teachers, why aren't you doing it? They say, well, we don't want to be victimized, because a lot of these folks in these offices, in the regional offices, somewhat are, you know, there's some relationship between them and HMs in these schools, and, you know, they call back. Some folks have had that issue, you know, where they would have done that before, and then, you know, by the time the next day they go back to the school, it is known. And I've heard Ms. Parag talking today about, you know, the accountability aspect of it and what we need to do as teachers and so on. Or what teachers need to do, I should say. But, you know, that is an issue she has to really look into as well. She has to have a serious sit down with her HMs and regional offices, and so when she goes to the school and find out, you know, and really have it. Because these complaints, they don't make it out of the regional offices. So it never gets to the chief education officer. And it breaks my heart to know that a lot of trainees are put under the pumps the way they have. The things that I was told by some trainee teachers, I found it hard to believe that, you know, that it is the teaching profession that they are in. And I just want to leave you guys with that. Your thoughts.
One quick question. Do you think that is widespread or just localized to the school or that you know of?
So to be very honest with you, I've gotten complaints from quite a few regions, at least 3 or 4 to my knowing. You know.
And your work take you around in the regions?
No, it does not. I'm friends with these people who are currently at college and who are currently in training to become teachers, and so, you know, they would sometimes confide in me about, you know.
All right.
Yeah, I would just like your thoughts on that. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming through. Yeah. I hope I get a chance to wrap up before the next caller come in. Yeah, so I am saying that when you look at the history of Norton's stewardship as leader of the opposition and leader of the PNC, from the beginning, when Norton... this is... Good evening, you're onto the program.
Hello, good night, Mr. Craig, Mr. Kissoon, good night. Freddie, the NIS formed in 1969, right?
The NIS was formed in 1969?
I can't remember the year, but I know it was September or October.
The NIS was formed in 1969?
I could remember the date.
The NIS, I'm sure about that.
I think I could remember the day, but not the year.
The NIS was formed in 1972.
Or 3 or something like that. Yeah. Anyway,
it's not 69.
I double check it. If somebody could Google it quickly and let's know. All right, thanks for coming through.
I lived a very, very short corner. It's 1969.
Okay. September the 29th.
1969, yeah. You got a call there.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. You're onto the program.
Hello?
Good evening, you're onto the program. Good evening, you're onto the program.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah.
Mr. Craig, I'm the guy who called last week about my friend, and I sent all the information to you. I was happy to hear you say earlier that you are investigating someone.
Yeah.
So
the matter... and everybody, not just you, several other persons send information to me. They have been passed to relevant people and department in the NIS, and they've been being treated with seriousness. And you'll be contacted with respect to results. It's just gone silent. That's apparently something like when people call in, the WhatsApp calls are going off.
So this is your phone?
No. When remember the same phone got internet coming through it. So when the phone is ringing, the internet temporarily turns off. So if we have a WhatsApp call at that time and the phone of itself rings, the call could be dropped. Hi, good evening. You're onto the program.
Good night, fellas. But please tell the brightest man in Guyana, NIS was established on the 29th of September 1969.
Yes, I can't see that. My apologies.
I lived a very, very short corner.
You got to turn. You got to turn.
Please tell the brightest man in Guyana.
There's too much feedback on that call. Good evening. You're onto the program.
Yes, Mr. Craig. I got on back to you. I just got cut off. I was saying thank you. I know you're investigating the matter I sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, just one other thing. So I look forward to hearing. I sent all the information. I trust is all that you needed.
Yeah.
I sent the receipts and everything. Okay. Now, any word about the swearing in of the regional Democrat?
Hello? Yeah, they want.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
anything about the swearing in? I have not heard anything. Some of the people who were named on lists for the RDCs have called me. Even while driving, coming to the studio tonight, I received a call finding out if I have any information concerning it. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm anxious to
hear. If I may give my opinion, I think not just this term or not just after this election, after every election, I believe that this thing takes too long. I believe it takes too long. And where my opinion is concerned is that there are three co-equal branches of government. The judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. When an election is over, the executive gets to be named within days, within hours after an election, sometimes.
That's what I know, yes.
And the legislature has to wait, and sometimes wait, without enough information. And same thing at the regional level. A lot of business is there to be conducted, and at the regional level, I think the regional thing should be convened after GCOM issue the certificates. I think within 7 working days, the people should be seated.
That's what I think too. So the business goes on.
Yeah. That is just my belief. Yeah. I don't know why it happened, and it has nothing to do with a specific government. It has happened across governments. Even when Granger was president, it took a while. It's something inbuilt in our system, and I think we should find the wherewithal and the political will to just get rid of it.
Okay, thank you very much, my friend. Continue the amazing work you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks. And it's similar to budgets. In the past, the budget was supposed to be from January to December. No, it's not a call. Just reminding me how many calls I missed. Budget is supposed to be for January to December, and in the past, sometimes you used to have budget in March, April, and all of that to be backdated from January to December. And you know what? Thankfully that was gotten rid of, and budgets are now passed in which month? November, sometimes.
Between
you know.
November and January, huh?
Yes, basically, and and I think similarly with these other thing, somebody was calling money.
We could probably call them back if we accidentally think them off.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes. Mr. Craig?
Yes, sir. You're on the program.
I got a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If they come up with a census number and it's 500,000, right?
Yeah.
Or 750,000 people living in Guyana,
Uh-huh.
and I come back home, I register to vote. Are you hearing me?
Yeah. Go right ahead.
So I'm sitting around with some friends and they're telling me about the bloated list, and it's 20 of us, and none of us live in Guyana during the census, but we came back to register to vote.
Yeah.
So do we bloat the list? That's how the list got bloated?
Well, basically, I would say that's the chief reason.
Exactly. So when people call in and say the population is 750,000, and you get 750,000 on the list, it's not the people that's living in Guyana. That's the census. It's a different number.
Yeah, and for the sake of information, there was a case where the Chief Justice pronounced that it would be unconstitutional to remove those names.
But I don't like the term bloated.
Go ahead, Freddie.
I don't like
that is just his term, but go ahead, Freddie.
I don't like the term bloated. I think that's an opposition term that has a negative connotation.
Mm-hmm.
Bloat means some
deliberate conspiracy, right? Right.
I'm saying.
I'm not saying you are saying. I'm not saying you saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is a bloated
No, I'm
list.
saying they're telling me, the list is bloated. The list is bloated. I said, well, take your name off the list.
All right. Thanks for coming through.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. He is making a point.
Yeah, I didn't accuse him of saying this.
Right. He is making a point, and
what's a bloated list?
We have to decide whether we want our people who have migrated to continue to keep that form of tie. Hi, good evening. Please turn on your smart device, please. Please turn on your smart device.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good night.
Yeah.
When I get on this speaker for one more. Now you say.
Yeah, good evening. You're on the program.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Leonard.
Yeah.
Mr. Freddie Kissoon. This is my third time to you.
Okay.
My name is Sheriff Zaino.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a private NS. I'm waiting 14 years now for my NS. I took NS to court 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I got judgment the 27th November from the High Court.
Yeah.
And the case was appealed back on the 12th of December 2023. I get a hearing on the full court on the 26th of January.
Mm-hmm.
And the case was thrown back to the High Court. I am 74 years body. I don't know when I can go home. I'm asking if the government can withdraw this appeal, that I can get my pension and can enjoy the sweat and blood that I give to this country of my part.
All right. You know how to use WhatsApp, or you got somebody who could use WhatsApp?
No.
I have WhatsApp.
What information he gave you, it's in the court. You gotta be careful how you're pronouncing it. But the matter.
No. I am not going to pronounce. He sent his information. Yeah. He's making a request.
Yeah.
And the competent person to talk with would be the Attorney General. I'll take his information. I'll ask the AG if he will talk with the man and consider The merits of the case and whether...
Okay, there is a the AG has made a pronouncement. Christopher Ram is his lawyer.
Is the same case?
Yeah, same case.
Okay,
yeah. What the AG is saying, it is not, they don't want to personalize this man's case. It's a matter of law. He won a judgment in which the court agreed that he paid NIS. And he provided evidence that he was working at Tulsi Prasad. What NIS hasn't got and what wasn't proven in the court is that Tulsi Prasad remitted the NIS to the... Now, he has proof. He provided proof in the court that he worked at Tulsi Prasad.
And
for
NIS
those
was deducted.
Yeah,
Right.
good. Now, the AG, the government appealed the case. And Mr. Ram has made a fuss about it. I think when we interviewed Mr. Ram, it was raised.
I heard him speak, but I didn't know it's the same case.
The issue is, would you be opening the floodgates if 400 people say, listen, I work at Xanadu Company. This is my I have proof that I worked at Xanadu Company. But did Xanadu Company remit the NIS to NIS? NIS is saying no.
But the question here is why must the payer be held responsible for that? He doesn't hold a pen and do any administrative work.
No, but
you could charge, they're not charged, but you could put the burden of proof on the NIS to chase down Tulsi Prasad and get, yes, sir.
No, but NIS have hundreds of inspectors. What are the inspectors' duty? The inspector's duty is to see that the employer deduct the NIS.
That would be my argument, Freddie.
No, but NIS, you're asking NIS.
You could sue NIS for failure to fulfill their duty.
No, but you're asking NIS. NIS is at fault for not going to Tulsi Prasad in those years and saying, but it's a tricky situation. Should you provide NIS to a person whom you have no proof that the employer is a two-way thing? Is you paying and the employer paying for you? But if the employer pay for you, it's still open the possibility of a floodgate.
No, I hear you. But I hope. Sorry, any other point?
When you say any other point, I'm just asking if you can ask the government, the president, the attorney general, who
I do not know specifically of your case, but I'm saying if you send your name and number via WhatsApp on this same number, I promise, as night follows day, I'll forward it to the AG. And I can't promise anything further. I'll forward it and ask the question. And that is
want to send me phone number because it's somebody else phone number.
Right. And that is as much as I can do, and that's as much as I could promise.
Take my number down there, 651.
No, just send it. Just let somebody do it for you if you can't do it. This is not the appropriate place to do that.
Oh, send it on WhatsApp?
Yeah. Send it on WhatsApp, your name and your information.
You have this number on WhatsApp?
Yes.
Yeah, because I take the number last week and I call in and I may get it, so I got your number on my phone.
All right.
I'm going to send it on WhatsApp.
Good.
I think, thanks for coming, so I think the gentleman evokes your sympathy and evokes your sentiments. And it's difficult for, it reminds me of a woman who's being abused. And if you're being abused by your partner, I don't think you have a right to kill that partner. And therefore, the state is saying, if every time an abused woman feels aggrieved, she can kill. I think you have a call there.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. You're onto the program.
Gentlemen, I somewhat have a different view of this NIS thing. I don't agree
with the fact that somebody paying the NIS and the employer deliberately did not remit the man's NIS to NIS. In this case, Tulsi Prasad should have been made a party to this case. Legitimately, the man paid his NIS. He is 74 years of age. Chances are we don't know how long more he's going to live. The point is, the man paid his contribution. He should be paid. Tulsi Prasad should have been a party to this case because judgment could have gone against them. NIS could have taken legal action against Tulsi Prasad. The law says you can take the employer to court. I mean, I think you gentlemen can agree with me here. I mean, for too long, and it's not about opening the floodgates for 400 people. There are many people in this country who would have paid NIS, and their employers failed to remove those NIS.
But in some cases, the companies go defunct, and there's no company. And
what I'm saying, a lot of these companies, Craig and Freddie, are in existence today. Tulsi Prasad is still in existence. This man is without his pension. And he's been deprived of his pension, right? Because of a technicality, a loophole, or whatever. The man paid. His intention was clear. He paid. Right? He paid. The thing is, we can argue all we want in this case. The point at the end of the day, the man is suffering. He did not get his benefits, right? I don't care about opening the floodgates. Companies must be held liable. Tulsi Prasad should be made to pay in this case.
That is the solution. The solution is Tulsi Prasad should be compelled to meet his obligation. But I think what the court ruled is that the NIS must meet Tulsi Prasad's obligation. The court ruled that the man must be paid his NIS. And Tulsi Prasad, which didn't remit the man contribution, goes scot-free. I think the NIS needs
to take Tulsi to court.
Yeah, the NIS, the case should be reopened.
Yes.
The case should be reopened, and the NIS should be advised to take Tulsi Prasad to court.
Definitely, sir. That's my contribution.
For me, if I had to...
Thanks for coming through.
If I had to administer this from a government level, I would use a conciliatory approach. I would... Tulsi Prasad is a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, Tulsi Prasad, she compelled to pay the man. That's nonsense. A multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah, and I would approach him and say, man, let us talk. There is something, I'm sure there is something you could do, and your company won't go under by doing it, Hi, good evening. You're on the program.
Hi, Mr. Leonard. I'm just again back at the here. I listened to the gentleman just speaking to you. And I had a lawyer at the court. Why and I can bring Tulsi Prasad at the same time? There was a lawyer representing NIS at the court when Mr. Ram was representing me.
Okay.
And the first thing what she said was right. She got all the payslip for Tulsi Prasad, and my name was not on none of the payslip. When we started to bring up the payslip, the lawyer started to bring up the payslip, then she says she cooperated the deduction. The NIS had a lawyer defending them in the court. Why the lawyer didn't bring up Tulsi Prasad in the court?
Yes, the lawyer should have done that. Yeah.
A lawyer represented.
NIS is at fault here. NIS is at fault.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Leonard, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming through. Yeah, so I would have taken that approach.
But the man said that anyway,
right? Good evening.
Hi, Freddie.
Yeah.
And hi, Larry Craig. Hi, Freddie.
Yeah.
Good night. How are you?
Good.
I'm doing all right. Go on, sir. Hello?
Yeah, he ain't gonna think because a natural call coming in, so the WhatsApp. There's somebody from the US. Hi, good evening. You're onto the program.
Hi, good evening to you, Freddie and Leno.
Mm-hmm.
What a good program. I want to make a suggestion. I think you all should open an office to take complaint and then forward it to government, even so that it comes with a cost.
We got other things to do, boss.
No, but you're doing a very good program. My contribution tonight, Leno, is I don't know if these police them don't feel shame. I saw something on the program. There's a newscast. $10,000 inspector and a constable take him on some private airport. When these people go home, they don't feel shame. It's good that the government are fighting corruption because they got the bad name. They got to look into custom, GPL, and the police force. Or they will bring down this government. These three entities will bring down this government. Look, it got a lady selling on the street corner, side of lens. And this lady will play music hole and you call the police, you call 911. Right? And they will come. I don't know if they're going to take anything there. And the lady continue. Nice nuisance. Nothing, you will call the whole night. This lady will play music hard. And nothing will be done. Car come up, park up, playing loud music. Right? Freddie complain about the thing all the time, neighboring TD.
At Movie Town. And the thing is, last night, you had about 60 men revving up their motorcycle without helmets, and they got surveillance cameras. And this going on every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night at Movie Town. So what are the... And the next day, the Monday, I live right around there. You see the policemen stopping poor people going to work and asking them for the papers.
Right side of lens and the southern side. This lady play music all night. And the police do nothing. You calling them, and you call 911, they're telling you that they may get vehicle, they may get patrol.
The police force has good people, but it has some terribly bad policemen, and they give the country and the government a bad name.
Man, I think there's element they hustling to bring down this government, buddy. I think there are elements that want to bring down this government, right?
All right, thanks for coming through.
Thank you, Leno. Are you consider the office that I talk about, man? Even so that it come with a cost, I am willing to contribute to that.
Thanks for coming through.
Okay, Leno. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Hey, good evening. You're on to the program.
Good evening, sir. This is a caller that called last week concerning the Chinese people and the stone.
Oh, yes. I hope the government looks into your case, sir. I really hope so.
Because Mr. Craig said you will reach out to somebody and talk to him about it, so I do a follow-up call.
Right. So I'll call you off air. I'm glad I got back your number because I saw your number from the call, and then there were so many calls and I forget which number was which.
Okay.
Right? So here what to do, just to keep me in the loop with your number, just send a WhatsApp to me identifying yourself.
Okay.
And off here I'll talk to you about some of the inquiries I made, yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right? Cool. Thank you.
You want to call there?
No. That was his call. Yeah.
Look. You gotta look at your phone.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Freddie and Leonard.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I want to take a step back to the caller that.
Go right ahead.
You guys there?
Yes.
I think both of you capable of explaining to him what it. But not all self eligible for voting. And I think that's what he's confusing with. You can't take 10 people in a home in a census and say, oh, they're all part of the voters list.
Mm-hmm.
The voters list is you can get on that list. So I think he's confused with that, and that's one of the things that these two morons are playing with, both Aubrey Norton and David Hines, misleading the people and about voters lists and rigging of elections. But you guys are doing a good job, and so I do reject them. The question is what is David Hines going to do in Parliament? Talk about racism all through his career? What is he plans to do in Parliament? And is this something that they will allow him to talk about all these about Afro and Indo-Guyanese issues? So I believe we have to be careful with him. He's just misleading everybody in the country. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for coming through.
You got a call there. If you ain't got a call, I mentioned your name in my column today with David Hines. The interviewer asked him, this guy, oh, you got a call.
Hey, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Leonard and Freddie. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm calling.
Go.
People who worked with the Guyana Rice Board and they never get their NIS. Some of these guys already passed away. So I don't know what's gonna happen with those guys. Is there anybody you could speak to?
Yeah, well, I'll make that inquiry. So the question you're asking is, if somebody was due for NIS and they pass away before collecting their benefits, if one of their heirs wants to apply for and collect it, if that can happen. That's the question you're asking, right?
Yeah, and there are also guys who are alive and they never get it up to now.
Yeah, well,
but there are very few who are alive,
Freddie,
but most of these guys passed away.
I don't think NIS is automatic. You still got to apply for your benefits, right?
But the thing is that a lot of these guys got to run around and they get frustrated and they leave it down. And some of them, they just get in the minimum because they couldn't find the contribution they pay all these years. So, and that's not fair, because I remember I calling on one of your program, and then other people start calling in and say, when I called to raise the pension, old age pension, they say you have to work. But a lot of these people work and they can't get their NIS, and the only thing they're falling back on is the pension. And on the pension alone, it's difficult. So
I think this new government need to have a high-level committee to look into NIS. That's their job. Day, night, it must be a paid committee with good qualified people, and that's their job. Go and fix NIS. I think that should be done. Anyway, thanks for coming through, sir. We have another call coming.
Good evening. You're onto the program.
Good evening, sir. I hope that we could implement a program, because one of the things that on your program somewhere, Wednesday or someday, you have to talk about constitutional law. I find a lot of people are confused with constitutional appointments and how long they should run, and everybody think it's a lifelong thing. Just check it out. Do a program. Secondly, I think it's unfair for people to say NIS can't check every work in this country. What should happen, and what the NIS tells everybody to do and nobody does, is every 6 months you go, you go to your phone, you check and make sure your employer is remitting your remittances, and if it is not, you go into them.
Let me stop you there. That you're talking about is a recent thing, that is over the last 3-4 years.
No.
But the people who are having the issues
Sir, I've been working since 1970, and I was told by my employer, that time it was Alan Shine Street, he says every 6 months you go and check. Before they bring out this rule, NIS, people should know anywhere that you're paying money into and somebody's supposed to pay, check for yourself. It's a little work, yes, but you got to do it.
Yeah, but that was not a given or a widespread practice, or people just trust the system and live with the system.
Well,
I mean, it is changing now with all the technology and so on, but I'm not prepared to blame people from those years back, man.
I worked in the 70s, and my employer, Mr. Alan Schultz, tell me every 6 months. He even gave me time off to go and check and come back.
Yeah, but that is in the minority. That is 1 in 100,000.
Mr. Craig, anytime you're paying money over, money supposed to come out of your salary, deducted, it is on us. We cannot trust the employer. People's businesses run for 5 years and then they're gone. It's till when you reach this age, you have to check it. If you check earlier, then you should know what's going on, and then you can investigate at the time when the company is around.
I hear you.
Right? Mm-hmm. And please look into the thing, because my understanding, and I would challenge anybody who comes in the program, including you, what you said the last time, that the opposition leader chose those commissioners and they have to be removed. I can quote all the scripture, all the constitutional about it, and I didn't even know that the Carter formula was adopted into the Constitution. So when I checked, I found it. So let them put a shot to the root.
I never said, I never espoused that view that they should be removed.
You said, no, I said they should remove it. You said no, and that is wrong what you said. And I'm saying, do a program, look at the Constitution before you give your view. It's not your view or my view, it's the constitutional view.
No. And the view I was giving is a view, not what the Constitution says, but what society ought to have. That, and I think I was clear about that. I wasn't giving an opinion on the Constitution of itself. I know what the Constitution says, but I am saying what is, because Freddie, the argument that you were making was between moral and law.
Yeah.
All right? And you say and morals should override the law. And my argument was that, sometimes these things should take a discursive thing, and sometimes that discursive solution can be 100 times better than the letter of the law.
You're still there, sir?
No, you go. Hi, good evening. You're onto the program.
Hi, good night. I'd like to make a comment about these cameras the police are wearing, the body cameras.
Yeah.
Now, are they not monitored by a master center? Because in most cases you find the police have the camera wearing, but it's on an off position.
Mm-hmm.
So when you confront them, then they either choose to put it on or they don't put it on. I recall.
I could tell you the rule for the body camera almost anywhere in the world, because the battery life is not endless and the memory capacity is not endless. And as far as I understand, most of those cameras do not have a wireless connection back to the base. You got to take the camera and put it in a slot, take it back to the base, put it in a slot, and then it is copied onto another device. So the SOPs, which is standard operating procedure and not SOP as in election, the SOP would have to say that as long as you're going to have an encounter with a member of the public, you got to turn on your camera at that point.
Oh, because I read in the news where the commissioner of police visited the airport and saying that police officers will be handed body cameras because of some allegation being made against them.
Mm-hmm.
So in such a case, for me, I believe the camera doesn't solve the problem, because if it is not on, well, then any skullduggery will have to go on.
Yeah, well, then the police would have to answer why his camera wasn't on, and if he continued with that behavior repeatedly, or there were repeated evidence of him not turning on his camera when having an encounter with a member of the public, then some form of discipline would have to be applied to him. Basically, you know. So it's a matter of enforcing the police SOPs.
Right.
Mm.
Cross the relevant authorities listening.
Yeah, surely. Yeah, so this person trying to get on a long time, and every time a call come in, they get to throw off. Good evening, you're onto the program.
Hey, good evening.
Yeah, turn your smart device down. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I called in earlier, but my signal was bad and I got cut off. Regarding the NIS issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was saying that some of these guys in their 70s and they didn't get the NIS. Some are dead, some are alive, and they still didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody needs, what's the situation? How you could get somebody to look into that?
All right. If they're people that you know, encourage them to reapply if they have. I can't remember all the threshold off of my head, but their threshold.
A lot of these guys are old and they're frustrated with the system.
But listen to what I'm saying. Some of them may not have gotten NIS because they don't have the required number of contribution for pension. What the government has done.
Contributions. Most of them have the contribution.
They have the number, the 750 contributions.
Yes.
Well,
but they can't find it.
How you could have 750 contribution not get their pension?
So it's similar to the Tulsi Prasad case. He's saying that they can't find it, some of it. I hear you, and I think some aspect of NIS would need reform, some aspect of it. But I think the government has realized and has recognized that there are some problems with NIS that needs to be fixed. And I think the starting point was giving a one-off grant to people whose contribution falls short of the required amount. And I would expect things to happen from there, and maybe all of these deluge of calls that is coming in on this program, I think can be catalytic to probably bring in some change, or bringing the issue to the fore, and then, translate into some sort of positive change for people. But I think,
because that's not the way to treat these seniors, because these guys work hard. They were operators and all these kinds of things, hard work. And now when they're depending on this, they can't get it. And some of these guys already passed on and they never get nothing.
I think you need
That's not fair.
I think you need to have an office from morning to afternoon, Monday to Saturday, in which a high-powered team is there, in which a team is there to take this information. It goes to this body, and then this body's job, not voluntary, this body must be paid. The paid job to interface with the NIS. That should be a priority of the new government. Yeah. I started this program 3 years, Leno, and 3 years, every call-in program is a sad case of NIS, and the man is right. When people reach 78, 79, they were excavator operators. They would, it's just wrong. In a small country like this,
I know one guy who says he gave up. He can't fight anymore because all these guys are not educated enough to go get lawyers and have the money to go fight for their little bit of money that they're supposed to get.
No, you need. I think NIS. I don't know what's the term for it. You have to use a term that is not insulting to the NIS, but there need to be a permanent body enacted with educated people, mostly economists and accountants, paid monthly, and their job is to soak in these complaints and solve them with the NIS. And NIS is obliged to meet weekly with this body. It's just too many sadness, too many sad cases of people not getting there. And it's just, it cries out for solution. Anyway, thanks for coming through, sir.
Yeah, once a straight call coming, you can get cut off.
But how is that? Is that your phone?
No, that's normal. Good evening.
Hello?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
You're on to the program.
Yes, sir, thank you. In the new cabinet, the government named a ministry, government efficiency and implementation. Maybe that ministry will now look into.
Who's the minister for that? Who's the minister?
Minister Ali, I think. Something Ali is the minister for that ministry. Government efficiency and implementation.
Well, I hope that has to be
public service, government efficiency and implementation. That's the ministry name.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a public service ministry, but apparently
they add right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so still the normal ministry of the public service.
Maybe that ministry now will look into these agencies of the government that is not doing their work. Because let me tell you, the suggestion that Freddie is telling you to put some office and pay people, you are promoting mediocrity. Why must you pay somebody why must you pay somebody to make somebody do the work who getting paid for doing the work?
No, well, it's not that. This Freddie is referring to.
It's easy for you to say so, but look at the people that calling in and at 75, 78, and then getting there.
What you gotta be appreciative of is that what we're referring to is not the work that they gotta do today and tomorrow and the other day, is work that is a historical. Well, what's the term I want to use? Is a historical injustice that was done to people that we got to go back and fix. And the people who are working now may not be equipped to do it.
I'm not talking about the people who are having the problems. I understand the issue with the people who are having the problem. I'm speaking about government people working.
Yeah, but a lot of the problems is systemic and not the people who are put in the positions.
Brother Craig, the problem is that people in the office are not doing the work. This is the problem we have in this country.
Yeah, that too, but what allows them not to do their work is something in the system. Look, and this is not just in Guyana. Let me tell you something. I lived in Trinidad for a couple of years, and there was a minister, a guy by the name of Wade Mark, that was appointed, and he was appointed a minister not given any portfolio. And the people in the opposition who was in the opposition to Wade Mark, they keep harping on this man ain't got no portfolio. But you know what the man was made to do? Get a staff and look through the entire government where there are inefficiencies and make regulations and do set up things and systems to correct those efficiencies. Sometimes the people working in an inefficient system themselves do not have the tools to fix it.
I hear you, but hear me out as I come out now.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a government outreach.
Yeah.
I was at a government outreach where the president and his ministers were there, and they had booths and so forth. A lot of people come up with various problems, and they were people, head of agencies of different places at the outreach, GPL, NIS, different agencies. And some people come with some real normal, what I will say is not real big problems. Do you know majority of those problems was fixed right there at the outreach when the president called up the head of this agency and the head of that person and said, what is the problem with this person? Where are you going to? And they asked two questions and so forth. One woman told the president on a mic with everybody hearing that a person, the head of an agency, told her, "Yeah, like to talk to government and ministers. When the government and the minister, when the president and the minister come, then you have a problem now fixed." Good night.
All right, thanks for coming through. In addition to some efficiency, there are people in the system who embarrasses the system. We all know that for sure. We all know that for sure, and that also got to be. Yeah. Good evening.
No, you need.
Hello.
Yeah, you need to turn your smart device down.
Yes, I turn it off. It's off.
Good.
Yeah, I have one other contribution to make towards your program. It's healthcare on the Essequibo Coast. We're thankful for the new Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're thankful for the new hospital that we have on the Essequibo Coast. It's beautiful and the service is good, but
that's a problem, David. You have to go. You have to take that off.
Hey, good evening. You're onto the program.
Yeah, good evening. With reference to the NIS and the contribution, I think it will be imperative, like when the first contribution has been paid to the NIS should ask the employer for the employee's starting date. So you will know directly what time this person started to work. So I think the onus on NIS now should say, like, if you start, whatever you say now is September, and they paid for only September, when you say, well, the starting date is June and thing, I think the NIS should say, well, you owed us some money. You're supposed to be start paying from the month when this work started to work.
Well, I think they do that.
No, I don't think they do that. That should be on the employee's record. So when you check the employee's record, you will know, well, this person started working with Mr. X on such and such a date. So if the contribution start later, NIS should take the responsibility to see that the employer pays the NIS that is due. Instead of you got to go and check your NIS every day, every 6 months, I think the NIS should be more competent than that. And they should see to it that the employees' money is being deducted, because I have a problem like that where the employee can find the last. I worked with this company for little over a year, but the last 6 months, it shows that I work with this company, but the first 6 months, there's nothing to show. So the only solution for that could have been if they had, used to put the commencement date of employment, you could have known, well, it would be the NIS should say, well, if you start to pay at the latter 6 months, you could have said, well, you owe us this 6 months for the first 6 months.
The NIS doesn't do that?
Yeah, they do.
The NIS supposed to do that. That seems to be...
No, they don't have the commencement date, because if they have the commencement date when this employee start working, they wouldn't get problem to say, well, this person did not contribute, because what NIS is showing that you get a latter part of your contribution. So what about the former part? If they had done that, they would have known, say, well, this company did not pay the former part of the contribution that is missing.
and they could say, "Ma, well, you have to pay us some money because this person started working with you from such and such a date, and by law you're supposed to pay the NIS for the person." So I don't think they should do that. So policy, from a policy perspective, that's what they should start doing. All employee must have, commencement of employment date when they start working with this company.
All right.
On the employee's file.
Good. Thanks for coming through.
Okay then.
All right, I think we got wrap up.
No, we got we went late, so we got 3 more minutes. But is that the same person who can't get through all the time? Is that the same person?
Hey, good evening.
Keep
the thing in another phone?
No, it's not nothing to do with it. Hey, you gotta speak up.
Hello, good evening.
You gotta speak up when you gotta go fast because you're calling on WhatsApp, and once a natural call come in, you'll be thrown off.
But that shouldn't happen.
No, that was what happens. That's how the phone works.
Is that so?
Yeah. Hey, good evening.
Good night, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little suggestion to make. The general manager of NIS should set up a special office right there with knowledgeable people inside that could solve all these problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that could help.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming through.
If a call comes to me out there, but you know what I noticed, and I said it last Monday, and now I'm saying it again. Is that the same person?
Now, this person is calling from the US, and what is happening? People calling often on a regular call. What happens with a call and the internet don't work simultaneously on a phone, on a mobile phone.
I've never heard about that. Is that so?
No.
Can't we answer?
It just don't work at the same time.
That happens outside?
Hello? Everywhere in the world. That's the technology. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, just go ahead now.
Yeah. Well, one other thing I want to ask about is healthcare on the Essequibo Coast. We're grateful for the new hospital.
Yeah. You called in and said that before.
Just go right ahead. Mm-hmm.
So we need that ASAP because health, you can't wait when you're sick. And
what you need, ambulance?
There's resources now that we can get this care.
What kind of care?
Healthcare in the different specialities like heart and other areas.
Okay.
On the Essequibo Coast.
All right. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
I was saying, last month I said it. When we have a topic, and the person who's the new minister of efficiency, they need to monitor this program. You see how the calls that came in, very few want to talk about Norton and Hines, and they want to talk about what affects them, what affects their daily life. After the initial call of Norton and constitutional GCOM commissioners, the rest of the program was people and their pension and NIS, and it continues. Look, you have another.
Good evening. Good evening.
Our time is going up to come.
Leonard and Mr. Kissoon. This guy again called me. Look, Leonard, let the callers know. It's only WhatsApp they're going to get through on, not straight call.
No,
as long as you phone on WhatsApp they're going to get through on, not straight call.
The other way around.
Simple as though.
All right.
Yeah. Huh?
No, I think you get to the other way around.
We gotta go. The operator said we're over time. So we're gonna count from 1 to 10 as we normally do and take that call quickly, and then we're off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're finished with the call. The program is over. We will see you on Monday evening at 8:30 in which we continue with our discussions, particularly on the elections, but if not on anything else. Hope to see you on Wednesday at 8:30. Leonard, Craig, and I will be here. Thanks for being with us this Monday evening. Enjoy the rest of what is left of Monday. Enjoy it to the fullest. Life is to be lived to the fullest, but with respect to other people's freedoms. All the freedoms we enjoy must not be at the expense of others, because it means other people cannot live life to the fullest, and you are denying them that by impinging on their rights and on their level of existence. Thanks for being with us. Our operator signaled that we're over time. So we will see you on Wednesday evening. As I normally say, catch you later, man. Bye-bye.